that the Spirit of the Lord is here. His presence is all over this place. The true gospel of Christ is being preached in demonstration of power. Matthew chapter 16 verse 5. And when his disciples were come to the other side, they had forgotten to take bread. Verse 6. Then Jesus said unto them, take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees. Verse 7. And they reason among themselves, saying, it is because we have taken no bread. Verse 8 now. Which when Jesus perceived, he said unto them, O ye of little faith, why reason ye among yourselves because ye have brought no bread? Do ye not yet understand? Neither remember the 5 loaves of the 5,000, and how many baskets ye took up? Neither the 7 loaves of the 4,000, and how many baskets ye took up? How is it that ye do not understand that I speak it not to you concerning bread, that ye should beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees? Verse 12. Then understood they how that he bade them not to beware of leaven bread, but of the doctrines of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees. Jesus was telling them to beware of what they will be hearing. So at a particular time, Jesus had to caution his disciples because it will be a form of distraction. It's just like you trying to guide your child not to do some certain things because it is not time, and your child is planning to is showing stubborn head that is the thing he wants to go and do. Jesus himself protected his disciple. He protected his disciple from hearing every kind of thing because they are yet not matured. When he saw the Sadducees, when he saw the Pharisees coming very close, he called his disciples and said, hey, these guys, beware of them. Somebody just started ministry just with 6 months or 1 year. He came to me, wanted to invite. I said, don't do that. That's nonsense. I say, get used to your people first. I say, I can get there and preach. I'm old in the thing. I can get there and preach, and tomorrow your members will see. They did it to John the Baptist and Jesus. John the Baptist just said, Jesus is here. I will submit to him. I will do that. The next day, guess what? The disciple of John followed Jesus. They left John. They followed Jesus. I say 6 months is too young. Stay with your people. Preach with them. Let them understand you. After you've done 1 or 2 years with them, if you want to bring preachers, don't bring preachers around your locality. If you want to boost the church, bring preachers that have made names somewhere. Go and carry them from South Africa, carry them from India, carry them from one town. Let them come. The ones that are around, if you bring them, you have not win your members yet. Some of you must understand how it works. Say, guide them. He said, be careful, be careful, be careful. Another doctrine is coming. Be careful. Watch. This is Jesus. Now Jesus say, beware of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. There are many ministries that have done damage control in the church. Brought a man, and the man used 1 minute to scatter all the messages the man of God has preached all his life, and then he has to come back and begin to make damage control. It has happened. This is not the side we are going. Verse 13 of that Matthew chapter 16. When Jesus came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, whom do men say that the Son of Man am? When he discovered that these strange people are coming, what did he do? He started now telling his disciples, okay, who do men say? You can see what brought that question. People wanted to start coming to influence. Is that okay? Now he had to begin to talk to them on a personal level. Let's read verse 14. And they said, some say that you are John the Baptist, some Elias, and others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. He said unto them, okay, these are what people are saying, but whom say ye that I am? And Simon Peter answered and said, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. It was Simon who gave the answer. Now, it is perceived, not necessarily that all of them knows who Jesus was. The only person who gave the answer was one person, Peter. Jesus have to begin to introduce himself to them. That is the first thing you do with your members. They have to understand you first. They have to know what the work stands for. before beginning to mingle, because there are different strange doctrines that are flying. Different. At 17. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood had not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. Then Jesus began to ascertain the maturity of his disciple. This was why it was not possible for, even after Jesus has left, for anybody to break them. It was not possible. They stick to the truth of the gospel which they have heard. Look at what Jesus said, verse 18. And I say also unto thee, thou art who? That thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church. On this firm knowledge I am confident that I will build my church. And what will happen? The gate of hell. So what was contending with the disciple was the gate of hell. But Jesus needed to know whether they have understood him. Is that not true? He needed to know whether they have what? Understood him. He needed to know it. He said the gate of hell. So all this why what Jesus was doing when he was drawing them very close was because there is a hell somewhere trying to snatch away what he's doing. Look at verse 19 where it speaks. And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Can you see that? Now I am confident. And whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be what? Shall be bound where? In heaven. And whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loose in heaven. Look at it, verse 20 now. Jesus now started sharing some things with them. Verse 20 said, Then charge he his disciple that they should not tell no man that he was Jesus the Christ. He started talking to them now as responsible people. So every occasion like this is an occasion to build the people of God towards the true gospel of Christ. The true gospel. Not playing gimmicks in the church. We are talking about opening the Bible, dividing the word of truths in a particular light. This is where you stand to be grounded. This is where you stand to be enriched in your spirit. So even Jesus too gave them caution. Even with all that support, when it was time to arrest Jesus, they still ran away. Now only the Peter still, the one that gave him the answer, followed. You can see why Peter followed Jesus, because he also had an understanding of who Jesus was. The rest, Abba, we don't even hear them again. We only hear say, everybody don't go back to his work. They told Peter, you are among one of them, and he said, I have never seen him before. I don't know him before. With how he has stayed with Jesus. The other man sold him, collected the money. Jesus was warning them. He said, be careful of the Sadducees, be careful of the Pharisee. How which Judah Iscariot listened to that advice, because he was there when they were advising. Say, be careful of these people, they can manipulate you. So anytime that there is church, find yourself quick. Anytime there is an opportunity like this, come and hear, because there are several graces in operation here. Look at verse 21. From that time forth began Jesus. Now when Jesus has already noticed that of a truth one of them has actually known him, he was now confident to begin to tell them some certain things. But how long did they spend with Jesus? Night and day, afternoon, morning and evening. Anywhere Jesus was going, they were there. Most of the miracles Jesus did, they were there. They saw Jesus bringing death to life. They saw water changing to wine. They saw different kind of miracle, death coming back to life. They have been with Jesus all this time, but Jesus still needed to know whether these ones have been won over to Jesus. So look at it. From that time forth began Jesus to show unto his disciple how that he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed and be raised again on the third day. Now look up. Do you now see why Jesus was asking the disciple to be careful? Because those people that are coming very close are the people who will kill him. They will persecute him. They will frustrate him. He says, so be careful. They are looking for loophole to enter. Jesus had to begin to warn them. Luke 22:31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan has what? hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as a wheat. But what happened? I have prayed for thee, that your feet will not fail. Can you see? With how Peter described Christ like no other. Peter confronted Jesus and tell Jesus who Jesus was from the origin. Satan was asking Jesus that he wants only Peter. Since that he stopped, make I deal with him. These are two people. There are two persons that Satan asks God to give. Job. And then this is the second person, Peter. Say, Shane, now you the proof, say you know Jesus. Me, ma will go to Jesus. Let me ask, let him give me you. So that we shake you whether you can still. And indeed, Peter drifted. Peter backslided. He carried his net and went back to fishing. With the way they have stayed with Jesus. But what was it that delivered Peter? The Bible says Jesus prayed that his faith will not fail him. He said, now when you come back, go and strengthen your brothers. Strengthen them.